This conference will now be recorded.
Point noted.
You look really foolish out there.
Ready, whatever, I'm recording.
On softball, softball lessons? Oh, teaching, she'll teach?
She needs
Oh.
support.
I need a teacher too. When she finds a new one.
Sent me a 3-page letter
2 months
to
ago.
every person, to every actor. Maybe you heard about it.
I did not hear about it.
So my,
What's her last name? Starts with a B or something. Butternut.
yeah, something like that.
I don't have the people.
And my dad.
We can share, but
Yeah.
I'm not
My
sure.
dad was talking about like that. I gotta go try and fire me. Budget and some other stuff.
Were they in the minutes from that
Yeah.
meeting?
Nothing. There are no. This was not done, this was not done, this was not done. 2% dues, like, I said, you don't want to pick the 5 people that have time to do the research. Because I know you probably know more than what you're saying, so honestly, so
Budget and then.
here's what I can tell you. Sure that we're.
And then there's some town then also
I
goes.
said, not just personally, but professionally. So it gives us.
So what, this worst case scenario, someone rejects an item on there.
Here's the
How's what options?
Do what now?
If one of our municipalities, if we pass the budget and then it gets to our budget meeting at the village or the town and it doesn't pass there, worst case scenario, it comes back here for rework, right?
Why, you guys,
Nothing, I don't.
We're planning on having a lot of controversy.
No,
That's
not
right.
at all. I just was trying to process how, since it's different.
please, let's not have a lot of
No,
controversy.
No, not at all.
You're not up for it?
I do not foresee any controversy.
I have to write everything out longhand.
Just was asking a what if, that's all.
Oh, Patrick.
I don't think so. Oh, yeah, you're right, though. Oh, we're Mason Chris. Okay. I forgot I'm chair. I was just waiting for someone to get this party started.
Steve,
It's me.
where'd Chris go?
He went to make copies.
He's one of our members. He's a driver operator.
Didn't realize.
All right, we'll get started here in one moment.
I think his clock is wrong.
Hmm?
His clock is wrong. Mm-hmm.
Good observation.
Is he late a lot? Is he late?
Dude, you're really early.
Patrick, we're just commenting on the clock behind you. It says it's 4:15.
And you're on mute.
Yeah, it's just one of those backgrounds.
Yeah. It's funny that it has a clock in it.
Yeah, it's kind of silly, isn't it? Yeah,
It's wrong.
I looked at that as well.
Technically, it could be right twice a day.
I wonder what it's like 4:17 is the time. I wonder if there's any.
There, that's better.
Oh, yeah, that's
There you go.
good. Let's go to Paris instead. My goodness, what is Chris up to? I thought we just had to get the copy. Can you check on that? Thanks, April. All right, now we will call the meeting to order. At 6:34, we have a quorum and the agenda was properly posted. Any public appearance, opportunity to speak on a subject not specific to an agenda item. All right, we'll move on to discussing and consider the minutes from the August 26th meeting.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
All right, motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Abstain?
Yes.
All right, and we're moving right along here to the chief's report, and we are getting some handouts, so I'll let you, thanks for making those for us. All right.
All right, so chief's report, total staff's 42 still, 11 officers, 3 operators, 25 firefighters, and 8 probationary.
8?
I'm sorry, 3 probationary, oh my God.
Big increase.
Department's currently at 259 plus 3 exposure calls as of 9/17. That averages out to 0.99 calls per day. It'd be about 362 at the end of the year. Call breakdown, 30 were mutual aid, 115 were in the village, 55 were in Pleasant Springs, and 59 were in town of Cottage Grove. Charts are on there again for times, calls by hour and calls by day. We did add one more chart now for how many times each apparatus has gone out for calls. So there's a breakdown along the bottom there, talks about each truck. We went and did the final squad inspection on last Monday, the 16th. There were some issues found. I was called about that today. It looks like the last thing was just finishing up today. So the truck's gonna leave Pierce today or tomorrow. And then it's gonna go to Precision, who does the radio installs. So it'll be there for a couple days installing the radios. Then towards the end of the week, it's gonna move down to Reliant to get the tools installed. So it's a little bit behind schedule. We were hoping for October 1st, but it's probably gonna be like the second week of October. For the equipment info, the ground and aerial ladder inspections were completed and there were no major issues found with that. Yesterday, I had something to add to that because I just found it yesterday, but one of our electric extrication tools is broken. Sent pictures of it to the dealer rep. It's gonna be a couple $1,000s to fix it. He's got to get prices for it. He's got to actually pick it up, look at the damage, and then he'll send me a quote to fix it. But he said it's going to be at least a couple $1,000s. We're not sure how much it's going to be to fix it. So,
Any idea how it happened?
yeah, during training, we were doing motor vehicle accidents or motor vehicle extrication last week, and it's just used on the wrong part. It was tried to cut through something probably shouldn't have cut through with that tool, and there's just kind of some training issues, I guess. So we'll have to educate a little bit better on that. So training for September was vehicle extrication, and we'll do vehicle fires next week. And October is going to be hazardous materials responses. Other news, our open house is going to be Saturday, October 12th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Staff milestones are Ryan Breyer with 2 years, Angela Elmer with 3 years, Thomas Grob with 6, and Arlen Mag with 14.
Great.
I'll just put a little plug in. My kid, Kennedy Gates, was the featured firefighter of the month. So.
Yeah.
Ooh.
She was.
Sign them up.
Where can we read about that? On the website?
Facebook page.
Facebook, oh, I don't want. Great. Okay, well, let's move right along to other fun topics of the budget. Let's start with the fire district budget.
So I attached the total budget, total operating budget, with a comparison of 2024's numbers to 2025 numbers, so you can see how things changed. I also included a explanation as to why things changed the way they did. So it looks like our budget's pretty much the same as last year, minus a slight increase up to a $10,252 increase, which would be a total of $228,725 for the year. Most of that change comes from the going towards. What?
Physicals.
Yeah, so NFPA and OSHA is revamping private fire department regulations. It hasn't come out yet, but it's probably gonna come out sometime next year, early 2026. And part of those revamp changes are that every year a firefighter's gotta have a physical. So this year we included the funds to give everybody a physical. We'll bring a company in. They'll do it over 2 days, so nobody has to go anywhere, can get them all knocked out. And it was about $10,000 to do that. So there was some stuff that got subtracted, some that got added, tweaked around some stuff, so.
When was the last time we did that? It's been a while, hasn't it?
So we haven't done a physical for every single person on a yearly basis since I've been here. But the way that we do it now is that the old policy was that the old way that we had to do it through OSHA and SPS was that you had to have a physical before you could wear a respirator. So when the members moved on from probationary to what we call a yellow coat or black coat, yellow helmet, where they're not full-fledged yet, but they're safe to go into buildings, we make them go and get their physical at Concentra and we pay for it. So usually it's like we're paying for like 3 or 4 physicals a year.
Mhm.
Where this time we're gonna do them all in one shot, I guess. So, and I guess it's not required yet, but we might as well just get ahead of the curve and start doing it. So.
I might have missed it out here. Is there a line item for the revenue from the Fireman's Festival?
No, that doesn't come onto here because this is a municipal budget. And the fire department, the festival is all
Fire department,
fundraised funds from
the
the
association.
association, so separate.
Other questions for Chief on the operating budget? All right, should we talk capital too? Or that part, I mean, I guess it's pretty little.
Okay.
Or
Capital budget's very simple. The only thing we had on there for this year was ladder one's tire replacement. We spoke about this a few years ago. It was decided that we were gonna follow the NFPA standard and have the tires replaced every 7 years. So the 7-year due date is right now. I know we're gonna sell it in 4 years, but it'll have newer tires on it when we sell it, I guess. So.
All right, any other questions on the Cottage Grove Fire District budget? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion.
I'll move approval to approve the 2025 Cottage Grove Fire Department budget as presented.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All those, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed or abstain? Great, motion passes. Let's move to the Emergency Services Building.
And I handed that out to you.
And then adding in the electrical lighting, right?
Yeah, the two things I gave you for the electrical, I guess that would be considered capital for the EFD building. I know we talked about this a couple months ago, and we talked about tabling it until budget time, about possibly putting it on the capital budget, so I don't know if you want to do the whole building in one shot. That's like 30,000 or so. I think you got to total it all up, but there's a couple areas, if we're not going to do the whole building, that we think are kind of a priority, which would be the meeting room, the downstairs garage. There's only like one light fixture that's currently working there. And then Chief Lang asked about his office because he's got quite a few lights out in his office too. So the three rooms would be meeting room, downstairs garage, and EMS office, whatever that is.
So what you handed out are two different quotes, right?
Yes, it's for the same thing. They kind of split them up differently, it looks like, but it's two different companies, just so we could have some competitive quotes. Typically, we use Electrical Solutions for most things, just because they build the building. They're pretty familiar with how it's laid out, and they just do a lot of the work, but I think it's kind of up to you guys how you want to do it. On the Nichols quote, there's some handwritten numbers on it. What that was is you guys asked if there was any focus on energy rebates and stuff for doing this project. What he did is he just kind of hand wrote these numbers on them, and it was, you get a little bit of a rebate, but you have to spend a lot more on the bulbs. So it's like the rebate didn't come out. You have to buy a special bulb to get the rebate, and it's like really the rebate didn't offset the cost of the bulbs. So
Does anybody have a recommendation?
I mean, I think definitely considering those priorities that he
The
mentioned.
three areas?
Which three areas? The meeting room?
Chief's office, meeting room, and what was the third one? Chief?
Garage, basement garage.
basement garage, and then the EMS office.
One or two.
I don't know.
I suppose if you do one, you might as well do them both.
Yeah, because it's like Chief Lang's office is off the backside of the main office.
What was the third one?
Downstairs garage. Basement. It'd be called the basement vehicle bay. It's on like the second to last page. When you open it up, it's on the left-hand side at the top.
Basement vehicle bay?
Yeah.
Is there one vendor you folks are recommending over another? If you're looking at the electrical solutions.
I think if you're trying to just select out certain ones, like certain rooms like we're talking about, then the electrical one, solutions one is better set up for that. Nichols just kind of did it by floor. So
Yeah.
it kind of lumped into doing more without having them split it up more, I guess. So
So I've heard one suggestion of the three rooms.
Well,
Using
actually,
quote.
technically it's four,
Four
right?
if we include both.
Both EMS
Offices.
offices, the meeting room, and then the basement vehicle bay.
yeah,
Right. What would that total? Looks like Chris is doing the math.
4764,
4764.
so 5,000.
5,000. So we could put, when we're considering this budget, an additional 5,000 in the capital for the
Why
lighting.
don't we do the hallway too? Where everybody's transitioning in and out of and from and to, and
Which hallway?
first floor hallway,
Which one?
the one right,
There's
From
two.
the meeting room
pass the bathrooms to the bay or the one between? The one that goes to the radio room, out to the equipment bay, into the quarters, that whole area there.
Okay, there's
If they're
floors of them.
fluorescent, we haven't done them. If they're the can lights, those have been replaced already several years ago.
So there,
4 hallway quotes on here.
so this is the first page has got the first floor hallway on it. And there's really just 2 prices, one's to do it and one's to do an alternate. So the first one would, for the first floor hallway, it's 8 existing 2x4 parabolic fixtures. That was $14.32. The other hallways, I believe, are for like downstairs and then EMS quarters, I think.
Were the hallways identified by you or Chief Lang as priority? I don't know.
No, because most of those are working.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the other thing too that we can mention is like, in doing it in stages like that, we can take some of the existing stuff and reuse it to get other areas fixed for now. It's not the best for putting new stuff in, but we can try to make the building as a whole better. You know, we can take parts from the old stuff that's being gutted and put it into some of the existing fixtures to get. So I don't know if the hallway has to be done right now because like Chris said, can lights have all been done. I know that. And I don't remember seeing a bunch of them out in the hallway, a bunch of lights out. So, but really the meeting room's got a lot out and that the few areas we mentioned have quite a few lights out. So.
All right, so maybe we're back to the $5,000, up to $5,000 for lighting, and then the next year we can consider additional lighting as needed. Is there anything, any other highlights of the ESB building folks would like to call out? If not, I'd entertain a motion with.
I make a motion and we approve $5,000 to be paid to Electrical Solutions for the meeting room. The 3 existing rooms, excluding the first floor hallway.
So are you proposing we add it to this budget, and is your motion to pass the budget, Mike?
I don't know, I mean,
I think that's what,
I want this added to the budget.
okay,
I guess, do you want to do this as a capital item is what I meant?
yeah. Oh, isn't there
Yeah.
capital on here? I saw
Yeah,
the capital
It's
outlay.
blank.
Right, so I'm suggesting we add $5,000 into that.
The meeting room, the EMS office 1 and 2, and the
Basement.
basement vehicle bay.
And then if there's no other discussion on the overall ESB budget, we could approve the budget with that $5,000 in the capital. Was that your motion, Mike? Or?
If you want it to be.
Well, are you, it's your.
I was just approving the $5,000.
Okay. I think if we can approve it as part of the larger budget, that would be great. Was there any other discussion on the larger budget?
And I'll amend my motion to
Be the whole
to be
budget
the
plus
entire budget
5,000.
plus $5,000 for the capital expenses.
Perfect. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion?
So the total shared cost would be the 88,539. Right?
Correct.
Any further discussion? All right, motion made in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? Great, motion carries. Okay, and we will now move along to discuss and consider speed restrictions on the new fire apparatus.
Okay, so the new trucks that have been built and are being built NFPA has changed some of their codes and are setting the speed limit on those trucks when they come out to 60 miles per hour for a top speed. So what we're finding is when we're on the interstate or we're doing mutual aid places, 60 miles per hour is pretty slow.
Dangerous.
Time to get there, and we're kind of like you're almost being run over. We turn our lights off and sirens off on the interstate with them because it's more of a hazard. we
Yeah,
feel.
right.
We can increase them to whatever we'd like, but you have to sign paperwork that says you know the NFPA code, you're accepting the liability for changing that. So I guess what I'm asking is that I would recommend changing the speed limits on the trucks back to 70 because that's where all the old trucks were set as we've been getting rid of them. It's still not, it's not 80 or 90, not that we need to go that fast, but it's better when you're on the interstate, at least you can go the speed limit on the interstate. So I guess what I'm looking for, because they're the municipality's trucks, I'm looking to see if the municipality is okay with doing that. And if they're willing to sign the paperwork saying that it's okay to raise the speed limit on the trucks to that speed limit to make it so we can do that.
Are there, so that we have current existing trucks that we would need to fix and then any trucks that we
Yeah, so
purchase?
the existing trucks that are set that way are engine 3 and tender 1. The new truck that just got built, the Squad, that's going to be 60 miles per hour when it's delivered as well. So we'd be looking at doing all 3 of those trucks. And then in 4 years, I think the ladder's even worse. I think it's like 55 miles per hour on the ladder because it's based off of the gross vehicle weight. So I feel like 70 is pretty reasonable, so we can at least do the interstate speed, I guess. So
Do you know what neighboring firefighters?
I know some of the municipalities have been taking it off and some have been leaving it on. We were leaving it on just because, you know, like I said, it's not our truck. It's not my place to accept the liability for that. But upon operating with it, we've had engine 3 now for 2 years, tender 1 for a year. It's kind of a hindrance. It's actually, to me, it's actually kind of dangerous when you're on the interstate and nobody goes 70 miles per hour on the interstate.
Anyway.
You're right. Right.
Is 70 enough?
Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah.
Should we say 75 so you can go 70, but go 75 if you need to?
My only thought is, I'm fine with it. We should probably check with our attorney first, just to see if it's what they say.
Or who insures it? I know we had this whole conversation.
So-
We don't have to rehash it.
So the insurance policy is in our name,
Uh-huh.
but all the trucks are listed as the municipalities are the owners of the equipment on the trucks, on the insurance policy.
Okay.
Does it affect insurance at all if you take that off or raise the speed? Or?
I guess that isn't something that we've asked them yet. We could ask them and get more information if you'd like.
I mean, it sounds like that's what our
if
truck.
you guys pay for the insurance, that's up to you, but we should probably check with.
I think it would be wise to just check first
Yeah.
and then bring it back.
But just to confirm, that is the speed that the trucks have been set at, is 70.
70 was
Yeah.
what they were at,
So
and they were built to code of the day. Code of the day allowed 70 in the past. Now NFPA's got really strict about it because that's what they do.
Stupid people were driving.
So
okay, so is our ask for chief to check with the insurance company?
Fire truck that turned over an engine to each firefighter somewhere.
So, you know, if they're just checking that out.
All right, so chief, you'll check your insurance folks and we'll just check with the attorneys because we always have to check with the attorneys. And put it on for next month?
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Okay, next meeting date and agenda items. I will.
10/28.
We have our village board workshop that night for our budget. According to my calendar. So that's you.
That sounds
So I don't know if you could do the 20. The week before that, maybe not the Monday, but maybe,
I'd have the 22nd or the 24th.
I can do
22nd's a Tuesday.
I can do either one.
I can do either one as well.
any preference, chief, or?
Preferably not on a Tuesday if we can avoid it, but if it has to be a Tuesday, we can make it work.
Let's do Thursday, the 24th. 6:30. All right, great, thanks, everyone. Any particular agenda items we need to name right now other than the chief's report?
Speed limit?
Potential speed limit one. Okay, then we will
I
move
move we
into,
adjourn.
we have to move into closed
Oh,
session, actually.
Oops.
We have 2 closed sessions. So I'll make the motion that we moved into closed session. I was told I have to read this whole thing. To establish negotiating position for the sale of Old Squad 1. We'll enter the closed session pursuant to the statutes, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties. The investing in public funds or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require closed session. Then Bay second.
Second.
All right, motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta do a roll call.
We have to
I
do
was
a roll
hoping
call.
I would. Roll call.
I see in your eyes.
Shoot, I was like, maybe if not, okay, Hampton,
No,
you're not, okay, going into closed session?
no, I don't think we need to
Oh,
for
okay.
either one.
Okay, well then. No, I'm just doing what's on the agenda.
Yeah, why not?
Go into closed?
Yes.
Okay, I'll say, yes, Lorraine?
Yes.
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 Okay, so that's the first closed session. The second one is establishing,
So, do you want, what do you want me to do with this? I can close it.
turn off the microphone
he's
and your
going bye-bye.
camera.
He's waiting back.
And then when we come back into close, we'll open up the microphone and the camera.
I'm all good. Have a good night.
Patrick's signing, he's signing off.
Let's hope nobody.
Oops, you.
Wait.
Or Mike? Okay, so we're back from. I didn't take information.
I move we come back to open session.
Thanks. All right,
Second.
all right. We have to roll call this thing again. Chris,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Aye.
Sarah, yes.
I,
Steve,
Aye.
Chris. Okay, back in open session.
Motion to adjourn?
second.
All right, motion and a second, non-debatable. All those in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
Oh, I don't know how to share it, like I don't have. I think this squad would look really great.
She's still on this.
You get me
Colors.
one.
Gotta keep the color.